The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Good evening. This is TVWAN News. I'm Mary Silla Kelaton.
And I'm Carol Kidu Jr. Join me later in the bulletin for your news in sports.
In this edition, log permit abused, squatters urged to comply, and ENB parents challenged. Over 1/3 of all logs exported from Papua New Guinea come from logging operations authorized under a type of permit called a Forest Clearing Authority. Today, civil society organizations and community representatives gathered in Port Moresby to demand government action on the widespread abuse of forest clearing authorities. Intended to facilitate land clearance for agriculture or other land use change, a large body of evidence shows the Forest Clearing Authority Permit, or FCA, is being systematically abused to allow the large-scale logging of huge tracts of forest. According to community advocacy organization Act Now, there are currently more than 20 FCA logging operations in 8 provinces across Papua New Guinea. These are a major contributor to widespread illegal and unsustainable logging.
And this is what I always try to advocate. When there is an agreement that's being signed between landowners and our company, you have to look at the nitty-gritties. What we've seen in the logging areas are a road, it's called a road, but you put in Diwantap, so not Romakiramatap. And those are for the duration of the operation. They're not going to be there after you plant in cacao. It's going to collapse. This is what's happening in most of the FCA areas. The round log export, we had promises, some of the promises copies. You go to Vision 2050, it stays there. In all the FTDPs, it's there. What does it say in the recent FTDP? It says we are going to go in a downward trajectory. You know what happened? So are we meeting the government target that we said we want to meet in the FTDP 4? No. No. The way it's happening practically, it's not going to happen. And why is it not happening? It's because of things like FCA, who now account for 31%, and people are more, FMA, TRP, or other form of license.
Present at the public seminar today from civil society organizations and community representatives, Sam Vegogo from Wanigela in Oro Province, David Mitchell from Eco Custodian Advocates in Alotau, and Pamela Vusi from the PNG Environmental Alliance, all amplifying the message, demanding action on FCA forest grabs. The call made at the seminar is for the National Forest Board, the Government, Fraud Squad, UNODC, Interpol, commercial banks, diplomatic community and aid agencies, and overseas timber buyers to work towards reversing the damages brought on by the abuse of FCAs.
In 2023, there was a moratorium, a stop that was put, and a promise to audit all FCAs. That report is not public yet. So we are calling, if that report is completed, we want it to be made public for everybody to know. We want the government to suspend all log exports from FCA areas until an independent, transparent, and public inquiry into the legality of all existing FCA licenses and local operations have been completed and identified. Steps to rectify any abuses have been implemented.
Act now highlights that the logging industry in the country has been assessed as a high risk for money laundering by the Bank of Papua New Guinea. This has been described as one of the most delinquent sectors in tax compliance, with transfer pricing, tax evasion and deceptive behavior, according to the Internal Revenue Commission. Police in Morobe province have clarified that the suspect that was recorded in a video from Nadzap was allegedly involved in a hold-up and not kidnapping as widely speculated. Once again, the message about not believing everything you see on social media has been issued by law enforcers.
A video went viral on social media on the evening of Tuesday, November 5th, claiming that the subject, who appeared to be bleeding from injuries on his head, was accused of being the driver of an organized group kidnapping children and was caught at Nadzab Market with a child tied and locked in the vehicle. Morobe Provincial Police Commander Jacob Singura refuted that claim, saying the man in the video is believed to be the driver of a blue 10-seater that held up a twin-steer truck at Leron Plains in Makam district. Police believe that his accomplices drove the hijacked vehicle away, while the driver of the twin-steer truck was blindfolded and brought back to Nadzab. It was there that the suspect was caught and manhandled. PPC Singura emphasized that people should not believe everything that is posted on social media. They can be arrested and charged under the cybercrime laws if the person accused files a formal complaint against those spreading such rumors. This is not the first time police have had to deal with misinformation on abductions and organ harvesting. A woman in Ley posted on Facebook on October 21st, alleging that a 15-seater bus has been going around, grabbing women and children. The Ley Peace and Good Order Committee filed a formal complaint against her with Ley Police the next day. The committee also lodged a complaint with her employer, allegedly resulting in the termination of her employment. Kamala Guare, TVWAN News, Ley.
The Assistant Commissioner of Police, Anthony Wagambi Jr., has revealed that the protest by the members of the disciplinary force that led to the January 10th riot in Port Moresby was not because of the pay cut issue, but other contributing factors as well. Wagambi Jr. said this when testifying during the Commission of Inquiry into the RPNGC January 10th civil unrest yesterday in Port Moresby.
When giving his testimony during the Commission of Inquiry into the RPNGC January 10th civil unrest yesterday, ACP Wagambi Jr. said apart from the pay cut issue, which was the main reason why officers went on strike, issues such as living in rundown accommodations and lack of proper medical insurance cover are some of the factors that has caused the members to behave aggressively as well.
So at Unagi, from what I've collected from our members there, is a culmination of many other factors. And it was kettle boiling, waiting for the lid to go off. It was bound to happen, and it happened on January 10th.
Wagambi said the pay cut issue is a first of its kind faced by the force, and it had caught the force by surprise.
It's never been experienced in the past.
It's never.
In my recollection, sir.
In your recollection,
yes,
yeah.
It's not been experienced where the pay is cut by finance from the salary.
In his response, COI Commissioner Elenis Batari said in the face of law, the protest by police officers was illegal. Batari further asked Wagambi Jr. to confirm if it was true and explain the process of protest. In his response, Wagambe Jr. confirmed that the protest was illegal. He explained that the police officers should have written a letter to the NCD Metropolitan Superintendent for his approval to go ahead with the protest. Wagambe Jr. said police officers did not follow the process on January 10th.
Indeed, the Metsup is the one who considers either to give approval or not for a public gathering of sort or protest. This was done so quickly and fast, but it should not have happened out there at Unagi.
Meanwhile, Wagambe Jr. is expected to appear on a date yet to be confirmed by the inquiry. Tracy Pa, TVWAN News.
Meanwhile, COI Commissioner Justice Eleanor Batari has recommended that police officers who were affected by the pay cut issue give their side of the story. Batari said he has listened to evidence given by the top management. Therefore, it will be fair for these officers to have a say as well. This is to ensure that the inquiry is balanced and there is a fair representation of all the members of the police force who were affected by the January 10th riot. Squatters settling at Talai settlement at Badili, Port Moresby are urged to comply with the court order and vacate the land. MP for Moresby South Justin Chichenko said this when addressing the settlers on Tuesday, November 5th, during a protest.
Prior to an eviction exercise in a land portion located in the lower area of the Talai settlement, the settlers of that area held a protest yesterday demanding answers from their leaders to tell them why they were evicted. According to the settlers, they have been living there for 3 to 4 decades and have nowhere to go. However, when addressing the squatters during the protest, local MP Justin Chichenko said the eviction exercise took place because of a court order. Therefore, he urged the settlers to abide by the court order, as failure to do so might result in contempt of court. Tachenko said attempts were made to bring the matter further to court but were unable to proceed further with the matter because the land documents have gone missing. Meanwhile, thousands of people living in that area are now displaced, with many seeking refuge with families while others are living off the streets of Port Moresby. Tracy Pa, TVWAN News.
Local construction workers of the new Agevairu Health Facility have not been paid for several months now. The health facility is to cost about 27.5 million kina and was said to be completed in 2023. However, construction is slow.
The new Agevairu Health Facility had its groundbreaking in 2022, officiated by former Health Minister Dr. Lino Tom, and was said to be a high-tech health center, a third of its type in the country. The project in progress and is set to cost 27.5 million kina, which will cover construction, medical equipment, and clinical training for health workers. This news team traveled to Agevairu in the Kariku district last month and saw the work of the construction. However, local construction workers are questioning the hard labor work given and complaining about the pay, which they haven't received for several months.
Me work low up, me plus have a work low manpower, digging ground 2 meter go down low, ground come on top. Now plus me play no save kissing pay. Come 2 months, 2 weeks now, me play no kissing pay come now. Osemna. Mi pla tintin bal mi pla woko. O mi pla like him some money blow me past time bal mi pla go walk.
Recently, several of the local workers received some outstanding pay, but not in full. This news team tried reaching out to the supervisor of Home Builders. However, he has not returned calls nor responded to our message. Local workers who are from the area were recruited from the Home Builders and have reached out to the company. However, nothing has been done to compensate these local workers.
Osemna please tintin blow me you pla check him this la company. Company I'm still in money blow me pla o sem one. Aona mi pla stop o sem. Mi pla ino simpe.
The facility was expected to be completed in 2023. However, work is slow, and according to the National Department of Health, it will be the district hospital, serving a population of 33,000 in Kariko district. The construction includes a total of 8 houses with 3 bedrooms self-contained, and the main hospital with an administration, with a morgue and inpatient ward with 22 beds, consultation, examination, treatment rooms, outpatients, and diagnostic services such as X-ray, dental, and pathology, a major procedure room, birthing services with postnatal inpatient care facilities. There will also be TB infectious disease clinic services with a transit house for TB infectious disease patients, a family support center, a waiting house for expectant mothers from remote locations, kitchen and laundry, maintenance workshop, guardian amenities, generator block and solar power system, incinerators for medical waste. Jasmine Rojak, TVWAN News.
This is TVWAN News. We'll have the day's other stories when we come back. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bunyamyumi.
Open nets.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo and milk taste and added nutrients, Milo and milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, P&G and Mia. Find P&G made.
Quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in P&G and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
Superstition ain't the way.
Welcome back. Parents in East New Britain province are being challenged to bring order into their homes. This call was made by the East New Britain Provincial Administrator Levi Mano amid escalating lawlessness in almost all 4 districts.
Law and order is everyone's responsibility. East New Britain Provincial Administrator Levi Mano says though the law and order sector has its responsible state agencies like the police department, the East New Britain provincial government is supporting in whatever way it can and where it is allowed to by law to assist in curbing crime. Currently, they are supporting the police with fuel, rations, vehicles and allowances. Mano further called on parents to play their part in towing their children in line, as society is no longer where it was years ago, saying this is no longer the community we grew up in, where people had respect for another life and other people's property. As the chairman of the Provincial Law and Order Committee, Mano's request is for the community to rise up. Leadership is needed in the community to stand together and curb lawlessness, and this starts at the family homes with the mother, father, or guardian. The provincial administrator further announced that a survey, which commenced last week, is underway in the province by a team from the National Research Institute. The engagement of the NRI by the East New Britain provincial government is to enable the team to conduct a survey which should assist the provincial government in better understanding what is causing the current upsurge in law and order issues and what other elements are fueling the rise in criminal activities in the province. Kamala Guare, TVWAN News.
Prime Minister James Marape opened a two-day forum on technical and vocational education training in Port Moresby on Monday night, aimed at empowering Papua New Guineans to participate in the country's economy. The multi-million kina improved TVET for Employment project is co-funded by three partners: Australian Government, Asian Development Bank, and the PNG government.
The implementation lies with the Department of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology through 10 TVET colleges in different parts of the country. Prime Minister James Marape highlighted that if Papua New Guineans are to be empowered to the highest level, it has to be in the education sector, but more so in the area of TVET, where they are provided the skills and ethics to be competent and be able to participate meaningfully in the country's economy. PM Marape stated that in the past 5 years, despite the country facing hardships due to COVID-19, it was able to grow its economy, but highlighted that there were huge deficiencies in the lack of properly skilled manpower to sustain the economy.
My request to ADB and of course to Australia, government and all our different partners is that if we want to empower Papua New Guinea the greatest, it is really in the educational sector, and more so, not just educational certification and qualification, but with the right skill. And I am happy that today we're witnessing the launch of the transformation in the TVET sector in Papua New Guinea. Previously, I was Education Minister. It is a sector that is closest to my heart.
Marape thanked the Asian Development Bank for taking heed of his request a few years ago to move from its traditional role in sponsoring infrastructure projects such as roads, ports and airports to the education sector with a particular focus on TVET. Furthermore, he stated that the TVET project complements the improvements being made in the infrastructure sector, as without skilled people, there would be no one to work in the construction sector.
We want Papua New Guineans after grade 12 to have education, skills and ethics. As they come out of grade 12, they have choices to either streamline based on their acumen, based on their own natural propensity, to either go to TVET college that is open, or college, or universities in-country or externally.
The Prime Minister also pointed out the efforts being made to address the growing problems of dropouts by pacing out grade 8 and grade 10 school leavers so all children can progress and complete grade 12 who will be prepared to streamline into TVET or tertiary institutions such as universities. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
The United Nations Development Programme and the Department of Prime Minister and National Executive Council successfully co-facilitated training on developing and implementing internal anti-corruption policies for provincial administrators in Port Moresby recently. The two-day training held last month focused on strengthening the capacity of the provincial administrators to develop and implement internal anti-corruption policies for their respective provinces. The administrators gained insight on PMNEC's recently established internal anti-fraud, anti-corruption and whistleblower protection policy, allowing them to use a practical model as a guide for their policies. Key topics discussed during the training included the basics of applying an internal anti-corruption policy, common signs of potential fraud and corruption in a public sector department, and the roles and responsibilities of public sector departments in fighting fraud and corruption. As part of its activities under the European Union-funded Preventing and Countering Corruption in Papua New Guinea project, UNDP, in partnership with the PNG Center for Judicial Excellence, recently completed a workshop on anti-corruption legislation, ethics and integrity for magistrates, court registrars and lawyers in Port Moresby. The workshop was intended to provide awareness and to discuss the implementation of the anti-corruption legal and organizational framework in Papua New Guinea's judicial branch of power. The session comprised presentations of theoretical knowledge combined with different practical exercises and discussions on several topics, including Papua New Guinea's legislative provisions and institutional setup for fighting corruption, corruption and integrity, threats for legal professionals. The training will also enhance the institutional and personal integrity of magistrates, court registrars and lawyers. Emerging as a beacon of creativity and positive influence, G-Force is a registered dance and musical arts group that has quickly become a sensation in Port Moresby. Established in December of 2023, this vibrant crew is committed to more than just entertainment. They're shaping a movement.
Meet G-Force, an energetic dance and musical arts group that debuted on December 27, 2023. Since then, this registered crew has captivated Port Moresby with its commitment to dance, music and positive influence. They are a tight-knit team of 8 talented individuals who have wowed audiences with their electrifying performances. With a passion for dance and music that radiates through each performance, G-Force members embody the values of self-confidence, discipline and respect for the performing arts, inspiring young audiences to channel their energies in uplifting and creative ways. Through captivating performances in various genres, from TikTok trends and ballet to hip-hop and Afro beats, G-Force is a role model, encouraging youth to stay away from negative influences like drugs and alcohol. Their mission is to inspire others with hope and provide an avenue for self-expression. Alongside performances, the crew takes pride in showcasing the beauty of Papua New Guinea through fashion and dance, using their art to celebrate and uplift their community.
Hi there guys, make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms. There is Facebook, TikTok, Instagram and YouTube. Please make sure go click the subscribe button, follow, like and see more. And with that, let's go!
Calcutta Jr., TV1 News.
And now the finance news. The kina closed lower at 0.2530 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying 0.2455 US dollars, 0.3671 Australian dollars, 0.2170 euro and 36.92 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, copper and copper closed higher, and cocoa, palm oil and crude oil closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, ASX closed higher, and all ordinaries closed higher as well. You're watching TV1 News. Stay tuned. We'll have news making headlines overseas when we come back.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, let me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaru, get up a big smile on face. Time cook him chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste P&G loves.
Enjoy life when we're working together, making happy memories that last forever. Hot in talk, young or old, a scale-raised family meal with home. We'll bring out the smiles, cause it's our favorite for minds. Tennessee Cola, scale rice, don't scale price. Tennessee Cola, scale rice, don't scale price. Amber, you like it?
Rugby League is a powerful force that unites Papua New Guinea and develops our youth. Through partnerships with the PNG LNG Kumals, Grassroots Rugby League and Justin Olam, we aim to instill skills to last a lifetime.
I'm community blue. When it's on you walk him, I'm a community. You must all block community.
When we invest in people, we invest in tomorrow's possibilities.
Kumul Petroleum is a major regional petroleum industry player involved in large-scale upstream, midstream and downstream petroleum and energy developments in the country. We are committed to ensuring that Papua New Guineans maximize benefits from the petroleum and energy sector.
Welcome back in regional news. Donald Trump, soon to be elected the U.S. 47th president leading Cook Islands environmental lobby group, says that if Trump wins the United States elections, it will push back on climate change negotiations made since he was last in office. Te Pukarea Society's Kelvin Pesfield says if Trump wins, it will push back on any progress that has been made in the climate change negotiations since he was last in office. Pesfield said it won't be good for the Pacific Islands in terms of U.S. support for climate change, saying although the Pacific has not heard too much on Kamala Harris's climate policy, she would have to be better than Trump. The current President Joe Biden and his administration made some effort to connect with Pacific leaders. With a winner to be declared any time from now in the U.S. presidential election, ABC political reporter David Spears talks to Stephen Hamilton, assistant professor of economics at George Washington University, about the economic effects a Trump presidency will have on the U.S. and also Australia.
If Donald Trump wins, will things get better or worse?
Well, to be blunt, they'll get worse. Which you can't put a 10 to 20% tax on almost everything and expect inflation to go down.
But they don't. I mean, his supporters, I sat with one of them at a Trump rally and I had this conversation, and she said, look, these tariffs are going to mean income taxes come down. He'll be able to cut all our taxes.
No. So the tariff revenue, if you put a 100% tariff on everything, you collect an infinitesimally small amount of revenue relative to what you could cut out of income taxes. You know, it's like an order of magnitude out, right? So I think, you know, the tariffs are going to harm U.S. consumers. They're going to raise prices. They're going to have flow-on effects for other countries. You know, we're already seeing in the last hour the Australian dollar has fallen.
You were showing me this just before we came on here. So what's happening with our dollar and global currencies?
Yeah, so the dollar's fallen by almost 1.5 cents against the US dollar.
Because markets are anticipating a Trump win and a tariff war going up.
Yeah, so as soon as the tariffs get put in, the US dollar shoots up to kind of counteract some of its effects. So that has flow-on effects for lots of other countries, right? Any country that trades with the US. So Australia would have this falling dollar, right? Which is, you know, it makes things more expensive in Australia, you know, and that's not helpful for Australia. It's also going to have flow-on effects to Australia through China, right? If you put a 60% tariff on all Chinese goods, China's going to produce a lot fewer goods. They're going to want a lot less iron ore.
So
right?
this is going to hurt us in terms of pushing up inflation in Australia,
Yes.
and it's going to make our exports to China
Yes.
more difficult.
Yes, which is a double whammy, right?
Yeah, double
I mean,
whammy.
That really harms our national income through those China effects, but it also increases the inflation problem. So, yeah, not good.
Is there anything good out of a Trump win,
Look,
Steve Hamilton?
if you're really rich, he's going to cut your taxes. So, you know, there's this big tax cut package that came through in 2017, which gave big tax relief to American families, high-income earners and companies, and that's all on the table to be renewed next year, and we think that they're going to push in the direction of trying to renew some of these tax cuts, and Trump has said he wants to go further in cutting those company taxes.
So one more question, I guess this comes back to a political question. We've seen incumbent government in the UK smashed over inflation happening here. It looks like at the moment on the figures, what's the lesson here for the Albanese government when it comes to cost of living and the need to show the electorate that it has it under control?
Well, yesterday, the governor of the Reserve Bank said, we don't want you to spend a whole lot of money before the next election. And I think that this election outcome gives them a big signal that they need to spend a lot of money before the next election to try and win it, which doesn't mean good things for inflation.
Residents of Kamala Harris's ancestral village in India's south are eagerly awaiting the outcome of the U.S. presidential election. The town has hung banners and posters in her honor, and residents are offering special prayers, willing her to victory.
At this temple in India's south, an extra request is added to the day's prayers.
When Kamala Harris contested the vice presidential election, we all prayed for her, and she won. Now she is contesting the presidential election. We all pray for her victory again.
This is Thulacendrapuram, the village where Kamala Harris's maternal grandfather was born. In the eyes of residents here, they see the vice president as a daughter.
It's a pride for our village. She should win.
Her face adorning banners and posters in homes and shops.
Kamala Harris is competing against Trump, but she will win. The chances of her victory are higher. We've been watching the news closely.
And her story being taught in the local school, the same one that her grandfather attended.
She has her roots here, so we are proud. She is a role model for our students, and that's why we want her to win.
Although she's never visited this village, Kamala Harris's name is inscribed in stone, a donation by her aunt to the temple on her behalf. But locals hope if she's victorious, that will change.
She should come here if she wins.
The uncertainty that some Kamala Harris supporters might be feeling right now in the US isn't present here. Thulacendrapuram locals are confident she will win, and they're ready to celebrate.
We'll burst crackers, distribute sweets, and we'll light lamps. That's how we celebrate.
Eagerly awaiting a result from halfway across the world.
One of Seoul's historic villages is introducing a curfew for tourists following an explosion of visitors. The measure aims to protect the rights of residents but has sparked debate about how to manage the explosion of tourism in South Korea. Amelia Contingent reports.
6 million people visited historic Bukon Hanok in 2023. A village with a permanent population of just over 6,000 people. But from November, tourists will no longer have full access to this popular spot. A curfew will limit visitors between 5 p.m. and 10 a.m. to give locals a respite from the crowds.
Many people come and try to push open the door by grabbing the doorknob or make various noises under the window, take pictures or make various disturbances. It's quite stressful.
People come for just a day to enjoy themselves, and the noise from parties is extremely loud. There's a lot of trash in the neighbourhood, so I've had to clean in front of my house multiple times.
Narrow alleyways and traditional Korean houses give the village a distinct charm. But residents have been leaving in droves, with a 27% drop in the population over the past decade.
We're trying to make tourists come in a balanced way and not cause major inconvenience to the residents. This is the first time we're implementing such a policy in South Korea, so we'll work closely with residents to make adjustments if necessary.
But locals are divided, and questions remain about enforcement of the $110 fine for breaking the curfew.
Who would want to visit here if tourists are fined for violating the curfew? They'll leave with a bad impression of South Korea. This would negatively impact South Korean products as well.
Authorities relaxed bans on traditional homes offering accommodation in 2020, leading to a surge in corporate-run homestays, which are adding to local concerns about commercialization of the centuries-old village.
This was once a residential area, but now it's under construction. And soon, a company-operated Hanok experience facility, a Hanok hotel, will open here. Along this alley, several more of these kinds of places are continuously popping up, and some are already in operation.
A curfew trial period kicks off in November, with an official launch in March. So rowdy tourists are officially on notice.
This is TVWAN News. Sports is next with Carol. Stay with us.
In its first 10 years, the PNG LNG project has had a long-lasting impact, contributing more than 26 billion kina to the state of Papua New Guinea. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levy and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Then it goes a little something like this. Hammer time. Go with the flow. It is said if you can't groove this, then you probably are dead. So yeah, you can't touch this.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. In a thrilling semi-final showdown in the inaugural POM Elite Basketball League, the Saints Pirates defeated the Northwest Wizards 64 points to 56 at Sejonggai Indoor Stadium, reviving their title dreams after two previous losses to the Wizards. The game opened with the Saints Pirates taking a narrow 20 points to 15 lead in the first quarter, building on their momentum to secure a 33 points to 24 advantage by halftime. Despite the Wizards' efforts to close the gap, the Saints held firm, leading 45 points to 37 at the end of the third quarter and sealing the victory with a strong finish. Standout performances came from Jackie Asiba, who was named player of the match with 11 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists and 6 blocks, anchoring the Pirates' defense. For the Wizards, Clarice Hane fought hard with 14 points, 7 rebounds and 2 steals, but it wasn't enough to turn the tide. The Saints Pirates now await the results of the CivPac Messi vs Tribes Coffee match, as the losing team will face the Pirates in a last-chance clash for a spot in the grand final. PEB Director Lawrence Lahari expressed his excitement for the competitive spirit on display, commending the teams for raising the bar in Port Moresby basketball. PNG Kickboxing Federation has accomplished its 2-month intensive training program in preparation for the World Championships this month from 18th to the 22nd of November 2024 and has ended well on a high note. President of the PNG Kickboxing Federation, Stanley Nandex, said the hard work for the last 2 months of the intensive training program under the PNG SF High Performance Program and the PNG Kickboxing Federation has been completed well. Nandex is impressed to witness the final fitness test for every individual fighter who put in so much of their effort during the training sessions. The team is expected to depart on the 12th of November for Spain tournament. OFC Associate Member Tuvalu Islands Football Association, or TIFA, has delivered a successful MA Senior Coaching course with support from OFC, Fijian Football Association, and the Tuvalu Association of Sports and the National Olympic Committee. In the capital of Funafuti, a group of 13 participants gathered for a 4-day OFC Senior Certificate course. Those involved included school teachers, national team players, and age group coaches. On behalf of OFC, Fijian Football Association led the delivery of the course, which was specifically designed to meet the specific needs of Tuvalu's football community. And now we'll have the weather forecast with Mary.
Southern, Port Moresby, partly cloudy with inland showers and possible thunderstorm. Kerama and Popondetta, partly cloudy with afternoon rain showers and possible thunderstorm. Momase, Lae, mostly cloudy with some rain showers and possible thunderstorm. Wewak and Vanimo, partly cloudy, mostly fine. New Guinea Islands, Lorengau, partly cloudy with possible few afternoon rain drizzles. Kokopo, Rabaul, partly cloudy with afternoon rain showers and possible thunderstorm. Highlands, Goroka, Bans and Kundiawa, some afternoon rain showers and possible thunderstorm. Mendi, Tari and Wabeg, some afternoon rain showers and thunderstorm. Coral Seas, seas moderate to patches rough with southeast winds of 15 to 30 knots. Solomon Sea, seas light to moderate with southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots. Bismarck Sea, seas smooth to slight with southeast to northeast winds of 5 to 15 knots. And Pacific Ocean, seas slight with southeast winds of 5 to 10 knots. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border, to Daru, to Kiwai Islands, to Kerama, to Yule Island, to Hood Point, to Samarai Islands, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meter, rising to 3 along warning areas. Waters of Samarai Inland to Cape Bogle and all Milne Bay Islands, seas 1.5 to 2 meters. Waters of Cape Bogle to Huon Gulf to Finchafen, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. Waters of Finchafen through Whittier Strait to CSC Long Island, seas 1.5 to 2.5 meters. And waters of West New Britain, seas 0.5 to 2.4 meters. And that wraps up the news tonight. Have a pleasant evening. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.